Hey, what's up, you guys? And today I am going to be talking about whatever comes to mind. And the first thing that actually comes to mind, what is going on? Like, stay. Anyways, the first thing that comes to mind is something that I had promised you guys I would talk about in the last video I made. And that is my last job. Well, I worked at a KFC Taco Bell, all in the same building, same kitchen, same lobby, same workers, everything. Like, we all wore KFC shirts and hats, but we served Taco Bell and KFC. Like, nobody wore anything Taco Bell. And anyways, so I'm super ecstatic. I go in, can't wait to get a job. I get hired almost immediately. They tell me, guarantee I'm going to get the job. I get the job. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm like, yay, paychecks, money. Well, I come in for orientation, and the orientation is basically you just sit around watching training videos. Boring. Freaking boring as hell. They're actual hell. Like, you sit there for full work shifts watching videos. But no, not just videos. They're interactive. So every now and then they quiz you. I wasn't paying attention. Ever. I failed the final test like 4 times and had to retake it, and they still hired me. Like, that's how desperate they were. And after orientation of going through these like 6-hour shifts, watching videos for a week straight, I'm hired as a cashier. And as a cashier, you're only supposed to maintain lobby and walk in and check the restrooms and then keep register going. So take people's orders, make them happy, smile, talk to them while they're waiting for their orders, and apologize if the order took forever to make. Well, not only was I doing that, but since they didn't have cleaning crew, I was cleaning the bathrooms, which the men urinal, I don't know what the hell is wrong with you guys, but for some reason you can't pee in a freaking urinal, and you pee all over the place, like everywhere. And I don't know why parents leave their children unattended to do this, and I don't know why grown men find it funny to write words on the wall with their urine, but they do. And I got stuck cleaning it. And not only that, but I did have to empty trash, which was like 40-pound bags of trash, like huge bags of freaking trash that I had to take out to the dumpster and then sprint back inside to make sure I was inside in time to take people's orders. If I saw a car pull up, my heart would pound because I was afraid I was going to get yelled at by my manager for taking trash out, which I did a few times. I got yelled at for taking trash out, which is what I was told to do. So, stressful. Not only that, but the job just sucked in general. Like, I hated working fast food. I hated it. And almost every week, there would be a new hire or somebody would quit. So it was either we're not getting enough hours per person because there's too many people hired, or 5 of them quit at the same time and everybody's stuck picking up their shifts. So me, a part-time worker, is working almost 30 to 40 hours a week. Per week. And I was supposed to be part-time. I didn't get any of the full-time benefits, and I was working basically full-time job. Well, during the periods where they would have new hires, you would still get stuck doing all the work because the new hires had no idea what they were doing, which is understandable. But the managers didn't take time to train them, and the people training the new hires were also new hires. Like, I had been working there a month, and I was already training people. It sucked. It was the worst thing ever because I was running cash register, maintaining all that bull crap I told you about a few seconds ago, and then running drive-through, and sometimes working the line, which is making food. So I'd make the tacos and burritos and all that bull crap, and I would put chicken in boxes and hand that crap out. And I was doing a lot of stuff that I wasn't supposed to do, and I wasn't getting paid enough to do it. I was making $8.25 for the first month I was working there, and then for the second month, I don't even know how long I was working there, maybe like 3 months. For the last 2 months, I was making only $8.50, and I was working a lot. And for some reason, working 50 to 60 hours in 2 weeks, I was only making about $200 because 23% of my paycheck was being taken out. And I wasn't making enough to do anything. I was trying to save money for a car, and I'm paying for a phone bill, and blah, 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 like so on and so forth. And by the time I got done buying necessities that I needed, I had nothing left. No money. So, phone, $45 a month. Then I would put money away in savings, and I would end up having to take out of my savings to pay for stuff that I needed. And, which is like food and stuff like that. And I just don't know, it sucked. And my managers were like, one of my managers, here's a fun story. He quit in the middle of a shift, dropped everything and walked out. Didn't tell anyone what he was doing or anything like that. He just walked out because he felt like he was being mistreated, which he completely was. I completely understand. He was. Everybody there was being mistreated, which I'll get into that a little bit more here in a few minutes. But we had 3 managers and 1 RGM, which is like the main guy, the guy who's like, he's the big guy for a few stores. Like, he's like in charge of this store and this store and this store and this store in like one little region or whatever. Well, he was the sweetest guy ever. Love that guy. Nothing against you. And I'm not giving out any names for a reason, because I'm afraid these people will find my YouTube videos, and I don't want them knowing I called them out and me getting sued or whatever. Anyways, then we had our female manager. She was the worst. I'll get more into her in a few seconds too. I have a lot coming up for you guys. This is going to be a long video, so sit tight. Might want to go get a snack. Here, I'll sit for a couple seconds, let you go get something to eat. Do you have something yet? Okay. Well, I don't care if you do or don't. That's your choice. You could pause the video. Go do what you gotta do. But we had another male manager who was also sort of a nice guy sometimes, and other times he was kind of a douchebag. But when he was being a douchebag, he thought he was joking. Now, this guy had been in prison, and he somehow became a manager. Don't know how that happened, but it did. And he was okay. But the main manager I was the most worried about, I guess, was our female manager. One moment happy, next moment screaming in your face. My first day on the job, I walk into the building and their machines are set up to where if you're new, you aren't processed for a week in that machine. So a manager has to come by and put their thumbprint in for you to clock in. So me being on time for work, like I am supposed to be, I walk over and I find the female manager who was working that night. And she's having a conversation that looks like it's pretty important. So I kind of just stand off to the side, out of the way where it looks like I can't hear or anything. And then she turns and yells, "What the F do you want? Does it look like I can read your effing mind? That is when I wanted to walk up and punch her in the throat, but I would lose my job if I did so. So what I did instead was say, I need you to clock me in. And then she said, I didn't know that. You could have said something. And I replied with, you were in the middle of a conversation, and I grew up where it was rude to interrupt someone who was having a conversation. She didn't say anything after that. Instead, she goes and clocks me in. Great, now I'm clocked in, and I have no idea what to do, because the person who's training me doesn't know what she's doing either, because was hired 3 months before me. It's just... Okay, next subject, because this is stressing me out. Oh wait, no, not next subject. I have to tell you guys how I quit. Or got fired. Whichever way you want to take it. Technically, I was fired. But also, there is a little bit of the other side where it's like, I quit. Anyways, let me tell you. So my sister, pregnant at the time, calls into work. She's working with me, by the way. We work at the same place. She calls in and tells the manager she's having contractions. The manager said, okay, that's fine. Let me know what's going on before your shift starts. She doesn't get the chance to call in because she goes into labor. She goes to the hospital and has the baby 2 hours after going into labor. She calls back into where we work and tells them that she had just had the child and that she is sorry that she didn't get to make it into work. The manager replies with, no call, no show. You have 3 no call, no shows, so you are now fired. So me, being the smart ass I am, I go, oh, that's how they're going to play it. We've had unfair treatment this entire time, and we have been the most loyal workers that they had. We went every shift that they asked. We did everything that they had wanted us to do, and we accepted low pay. Well, I just stopped showing up to work. I just stopped. And when they called me to tell me that I was fired for my 3 no-call, no-shows, which if you don't know what a no-call, no-show is, it's just like what it sounds like. You don't call to tell them you're showing up, and you don't show up. So, after they call me to tell me that I have 3 no-call, no-shows and that I'm being terminated from my job, I reply with, thank you for letting me know I am fired. That is what 3 no-call, no-shows look like. Do you see what I did there? Because my sister did call in. It wasn't a no-call. It was a no-show. But she did call in. And she had a valid excuse. She pushed 7.5 pounds of child out of her vagina. Education. I love it. I love how stupid people are. Anyways, that leads me on to my second job that I didn't even get to start. I get hired at a place called iCall. iCall is basically customer service for a whole bunch of businesses who rely on this one business to answer all of their phone calls. So, after I go in and get hired, I was ecstatic. $9 an hour. Not bad. After 2 months, almost $11 an hour. Guaranteed. I'm so excited, and I am told that I come in for training. I think it was Tuesday through Thursday. No, hold on. It was Tuesday through Friday, and then the following Monday. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'm ready. I'm like, okay, I'm going to force myself to get up. I wake up at 7:30 on Tuesday morning to start my training. I had been throwing up that entire night. And I was forcing myself to get up, and I was like, no, it's fine. It was anxiety. I can go because I have horrible anxiety, and my anxiety makes me throw up. So I was like, it's my anxiety. Then I realized there's a little something wrong with my throat. And then I realized I felt like crap. So what do? I call in, and I'm like, hey, I might end up being a little late because I have to run to my doctor's office and see if there's something wrong with me. If I have something contagious, I don't want to bring it in. I feel like that's irresponsible. I go to my doctor. I'm talking to my doctor. I'm like, I think it's just sinuses mixed with some anxiety. Like, I'm fine. You just prescribe me some antibiotics to get over this, and I'll go into work. Just give me a note so that I have an excuse for being late. She decides she's going to check me for strep throat. What do I have? Strep throat. What does she do? Writes me a note for the entire time I'm supposed to be in training. So I give the note to my now boss. My boss decides she's going to tell me, okay, that is fine. We will see you Tuesday of next week. Tuesday never came. She calls me that following Monday to tell me I have been terminated because I am an unloyal employee and they need to find somebody who is more loyal. Sorry that I got sick. I cannot help it that I was dying, that I had an actual illness that kept me from speaking and made me throw up profusely, nonstop. So that's my stories with those. It's fun times, right? Well, next, I'm going to speak to you about bullying. But you will have to wait for the part 2 of random ranting. Love you, my little churros. Make sure to hit the like button if you like this video, and dislike if you didn't. I honestly don't care. Do whatever. If you're new here, go ahead and hit subscribe right up there, and check out my last video. And for all my little babies who have been with me this whole time, I love you. And to all my newcomers, I love you. Goodbye, my little churros. Whoosh.